Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome to today's MCNA-YMj Primetime, Guardians of the Earth. My name is Arib, and I will be your moderator. We are thrilled to have each and every one of you joining us. Before we begin, let me introduce you to some of the programs we offer throughout the year. MCNA also offers youth courses during the spring and fall. Our last program was Journey Around the Globe, in which we explore different Muslim countries around the world. We also offer a spring and fall YMJ book club for children aged 11 to 13. Please contact your local chapters for further information. This year, we are offering an exciting leadership retreat for MCNA-YMj kids focused on the theme, Take Care of 5 Before 5. The retreat aims to inspire personal growth, reflection, and empowerment as we explore the importance of youth, health, wealth, free time, and life itself. Please contact your local chapters for information on how to enroll in the program. As for our publications, MCNA has a children's magazine called Companion, which is a magazine for kids, written by kids all across the United States. If your kids are creative or good at writing, please send their work to companion@icna.org so that it can be published in the next issue of the Companion magazine. The fall Companion issue is currently in publishing. Finally, we would like to hear any feedback our MCNA and YMJ members have. You can send feedback emails to mcna@icna.org or contact your MCNA YMJ chapter. So, MCNA-YMJ has many local sessions in different chapters and MCNA-YMJ has many local sessions in different chapters and regions throughout the United States. For more information, visit our website and the chapter locator at www.mcnaymj.org. Our MCNA-YMJ YouTube channel is a great resource to watch our program recordings. Make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can be notified when new videos are uploaded. Please follow our Facebook and Instagram pages for notifications for future events. Let's start today's program with tilawat of Quran, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Ameen. Now let me introduce you to today's guest speaker, Sister Sama Wareh. Sister Sama Wareh has worked in the environmental field for over 18 years now and is a naturalist, author, and co-founder of the Art and Wilderness Institute. With that introduction, I will hand it off to Sister Sama Wareh.
All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Sama, and it's so nice to be here with all of you. And I have never done a presentation where I can't see anyone or or anything like this. This is a new one for me. I'm usually outdoors. I'm hardly on a screen. I'm out on trails, looking at bugs, tracking wildlife, looking for coyotes with my students. So oh, look, I get to show my screen. How exciting. Saying random things like that. And today I'm with my students, and we are going to be, hold on, present. We are going to be actually presenting together, and you'll get to hear a little bit more about what we do. And so I'm going to be introducing them one by one to come up because they're going to leave soon. We're actually just finished a hike. We did about 2 miles today, and we went up a couple steep hills, and we've been studying all kinds of plants and wildlife, and they're going to share that with you, what a day at the Art and Wilderness Institute looks like, just to paint a picture of kind of before we're talking about being a khulafa al-ard, like what does it mean to protect the planet? We have to be able to understand what you have to do first to do that part. So without further ado, I'm going to let each of them introduce themselves, and they each have a message for you, and then I will be doing my part thereafter.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ali Sidqi. I'm 12 years old and I'm a student here at the Art and Wilderness Institute. My message today is really going to be about exploration, and we did a lot of that on the hike today. So it all begins with the first step. And this first step cannot be accomplished by just staying in your home. It needs to start by just going outside for 5 to 10 minutes every day and just look at what Allah has given us. Because Allah has told us many times in the Quran to go and explore the earth that He has given us. He's given us so much ni'am that it would be so wasteful not to experience them all. So a message is first, just every day, 5 to 10 minutes, go outside and explore what's next to you, and really explore everything that Allah has given you, because for some people He hasn't given them that same ni'mah. Another thing is that when Allah gives us a ni'mah, it's our duty basically to explore it and to use it. So for an example, on our hike today, we explored many fruits that we can eat, and many plants that we can use to heal ourselves, many plants that are dangerous, and many plants that are invasive. And this all starts with the first step, which is going outside and just going and exploring everything that Allah has given us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, and now you'll hear from another one of my students.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Maryam Yusuf. I am a student of the Art and Wilderness Institute, and here in AWI we learn so many great things, and we learn so many new things about plants and animals, and just how the world was. And so one of the things that we learned about was al-khulafa al-ard, and so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this beautiful blessing, and He gave us this responsibility of being khulafa al-ard, and we aren't doing the best job. So we need to try recycling more, and this ugly plastic is just surrounding our beautiful planet, and we just have to recycle, and we have to be mindful that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this responsibility, and we have to be up for it, and we have to do well in our part. Thank you so much.
And now you'll hear from, I have 5 students total who have a message for you, and you'll hear from our 3rd student.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Omar Hilmi. I'm 13-year-old and I'm part of Arts and Wilderness Institute. Today on our hike, we learned many things to do. So, for example, we learned about what can help us. For example, Indian tobacco. It's a plant, and it helps us it helps suck out metal from under the ground. And we learned about things that we can eat during the hike. For example, there's this berry called lemonade berry. You can suck on it. It tastes like Sour Patch. And there are many other things. For example, cattail. It takes out water pollution from the water. So for every problem, there are solutions. We may not know all of them yet, but there are solutions for the problems that happen in the nature. Jazakallah khair.
All right, Jazakallah khair, Omar. And now you'll hear from another one of our students who's coming up. Got 2 more to go through, and they're really all awesome.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Karim. I am 10 years old, and today we have learned that every plant or animal serves a purpose, like mustard weed. Mustard weed has a bad side and a good side. The bad side is that it gets burned very easily. It burns other plants and kills them, and grows very taller than any other grassland you see. The good side of it is that it can create you a fire pit. It lights very fast. If you just add mugwort, it will light even faster. And also, like castor bean, the oil from it could be used to regrow your hair if you have a hair loss. And you could buy it at most stores, like Target. They have all castor bean oils. Jazakallah khair. Wassalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ayub. I'm 12 years old. With all this knowledge, it's great, but we won't have it for much longer unless if we take the initiative and try to protect nature. So we can do that by picking up trash. Even if it's not yours, you should try to pick it up. You should talk with others, like at your masjid, and tell everybody that we need to protect this planet. And it's not that hard. Even though it seems hard, it's not that hard, because almost every single plant has a way to fight back in its own special way. We just have to help it and help it go and help save nature and wildlife. Jazakumullah khair.
All right. Jazakallah khair. Thanks, you guys. I know that soon you guys have to leave. Your parents are coming to get you soon. So we are actually out on a trail right now. I have my laptop out. I have to hit my mobile hotspot on so that we can be with you guys. I have a couple of things to share with all of you today. And so without further ado, I'm going to get going. My students, these are my mentorship students. It's a leadership program where they learn how to first become a naturalist, learn all the plants and animals, and then learn how to lead hikes, and then learn how to protect the earth in actual real ways. And we go out into the community and do a lot of good work, alhamdulillah. So next up, I'm going to show you climate change. So I'm usually used to interacting with an audience. This is really, I don't really know how to interact with you guys, but I will say that climate change is something that is really, I'm sure you've heard this word before, and I wanted to explain what it is. So let me explain what you're looking at here, because to understand why it's so important to be a khulafa al-ard, we have to first understand what is climate change, okay? So we're looking at this graph here. And as you can see, there's a red dot past 2020 that's going up to over 420 parts per million. Look on the left. You see how here it says CO2. CO2 stands for carbon, basically carbon, right? So carbon is carbon dioxide, which is in our air. Di means two. Oxide is, kind of the result of carbon going into the atmosphere. And carbon comes from many things. For example, it comes from our cars, it comes from trains, it comes from producing fashion, it comes from, all sorts of different, ways that we're consuming, right? And so the more, if you look at 1960, you can see it was at 320 parts per million. And as we keep building things and buying things and making things and destroying the planet and creating more and more of this carbon, you see this dot going up. We're at 420 parts per million. Let's just say in 300,000 years of planet Earth, it has never gone more than 300 parts per million, never. And now we're at, all of a sudden, look, from 1960 all the way to 2024, we're at 420 parts per million. That's an extra 100 that we're at, actually 120. So the reason why this is important to understand is because the Earth has a law, okay? That law is that we can't add more matter to, like, so we can't add more space to planet Earth, like, right? We have a limited amount of space on Earth and that's all we get. So when there's more carbon that's going into the air, it has to go somewhere, right? Something's got to soak it in. And so what is it that soaks it in? It ends up being the ocean. The ocean absorbs 30% of it. And that ends up making a lot of the water acidic, which starts making the shells. So like coral reefs and anything that produces a shell, hermit crabs, you know, you name it, and mussels, anything that makes a shell, that shell is going to start to disintegrate. Okay, it's going to start to deteriorate. Plankton even makes shells, which is the very core foundation of the ocean. So anytime we buy new stuff, it adds more oxygen. Anytime we get something on Amazon shows up in the mail that took a truck to bring it over to us, right? That carbon is going into the atmosphere. And this is something that is really affecting our planet. So I wanted to show you a video next of a girl that I admire a lot. I'm going to introduce her to you right now. Her name is Greta Thunberg, and she actually has also been very active protesting for Palestine and whatnot. But before this, before Palestine even, she's been out there protesting since the age of 13. She's been on climate strike. And she's autistic, actually. And she's been out there and she gives these speeches in front of the United Nations, in front of super important people. And she speaks from her heart, and she's really an advocate. And I'm sharing this with you to show you that you're never too young to make a difference. She already has. And she's taken the world by storm. And she actually got arrested recently at a Palestine protest as well. And so she's a big activist, and she's saying Palestine is linked to our consumerism. So like when wars are started and wars are like colonization happens, it's basically stealing resources, right? And so she's out there because she's like, look, we're fighting a war because we're trying to take more resources because we can't control our consumption levels. And so listen to this speech.
There will be a time when we will look back and ask ourselves what we did right now. How do we want to be remembered? This is an emergency. People are already suffering and dying from the consequences of the climate and environmental emergency. But it will get worse. And still, this emergency is being completely ignored by the politicians, the media, and those in power. Basically, nothing is being done to halt this crisis, despite all the beautiful words and promises from our elected officials. So what did we do during this crucial time? What we will do right now? Well, I will not stand aside and watch. I will not be silent while the world is on fire. Will you? World leaders are behaving like children. So it falls on us to be the adults in the room. It should not be this way. We should not be the ones who will have to lead on this and tell the uncomfortable truth. Once again, they sweep their mess under the rug for us young people, for their children to clean up for them. But we must continue, and we have to be patient and remember that the changes required will not happen overnight, since the politics and the solutions needed are still far from sight. But if enough people are pushing for change, then change will come. And we are those people, and every single person counts. Just look at Bristol as an example. The other week, the plans to expand the Bristol Airport were cancelled. A lot thanks to climate activists. And of course, this is far from enough, but it shows that it does actually make a difference. Activism works, so I'm telling you to act. If you look throughout history, all the great changes have come from the people. We are being betrayed by those in power, and they are failing us, but we will not back down. And if you feel threatened by that, then I have some very bad news for you. We will not be silenced, because we are the change, and change is coming whether you like it or not. Thank you, and let's march.
All right, so let's see here. I'll go to the next screen. So basically, I'm gonna see if I can get my my webcam to work so I could look at you guys for a second here. Let me see, share webcam. Okay, hello. Let's see if that works. Can you see me? Is it working? Oh, I think I lost you. Did I lose you guys? Stop showing screen.
Oh, you're here. We can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay, great. And can you see my webcam? Is that working?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. Okay, I wanted to take a break from the screen for a second, and I wanted to kind of show you where I am so you can put a little perspective to where I am right now. So I'm out on the trail, and that interview or that speech that you saw with Greta Thunberg, it's really dynamic because when you are looking at this girl, she started when she was, I believe, 12 or 13. She said, what's the point of going to high school if our planet is supposed to, if at the rate we're going at, we're already in a mass extinction event. That means that just like the dinosaurs went extinct, right now we're in a huge, the biggest mass extinction event after the dinosaurs. So we've already lost 50% of our bird population. We've lost 50% of our biodiversity of insects. And so what does that mean for us? You might be thinking, well, insects, we don't really need insects that much. That's fine. But if you think about it, insects are actually they're at the base foundation level of ecosystems. And so, we think about us as Muslims, right? We're supposed to be khulafa. We are the khulafa. We are the khulafa. That means that we are the protectors. We are the guardians. We are the caretakers. And so what that means is when I wake up in the morning and I open my faucet and I just let it run forever, am I protecting that water and what it took to clean that water and the carbon that it took to clean that water and everything that it took to get that water to my sink? Am I protecting that, or am I just squandering it? Am I being wasteful? Every minute of our day, we're to ask ourselves, what are we doing to say thank you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for these gifts that he's given us. So many, in Surah Ar-Rahman, you think of, and the, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ, and which of the favors of your Lord you deny? All of us are living in favors, right? Everything, even this fabric that I'm wearing, this is cotton. Cotton comes from a plant. It took water to grow that plant. It took pesticides, so chemicals, to be sprayed on that cotton so that insects don't eat the cotton, but then that pesticide ends up falling into the ground and killing a lot of insects. And while they're struggling, birds come and they start eating them. And then they die. Those birds die because the poison ends up inside the birds. So sad to say, but everything that we touch has a price, And so as Muslims, we got to ask ourselves, when we pick things up and we go to the store and we buy things and we go, oh, this is super cheap. Oh, that's a really great price. Stop. What paid the price for this? Was it that, you know, we exploded a mountain to get the cobalt out to make an electric, you know, an electric battery for our cars? And what lives were gone for that, right? So I'm not saying that we as Muslims should do nothing and all of a sudden not buy anything and not do anything and just go sit in a corner because everything we touch is going to be destroying something. I'm saying we need to be thoughtful about how we're taking things. We need to be thoughtful about how we're taking things. And if we're not, then something is wrong with our heart. That means we're numb. That means that we're ungrateful. That means that we just assume all of these things should be given to us. So I'm going to go back to my other screen now, and I'm going to share with you the other presentation that disappeared. I wonder where that went. Sorry, one second. Let me just get back to the other thing I had up. Give me a moment because it sort of just disappeared on me. Give me one second. Okay. So, nope. Sorry, give me one second. I'm hardly on a computer. Okay. Oh, here it is. Okay. So now I can go show screen. Okay. So now I'm going to share with you something. Oh, it disappeared again. Oh, no. Okay. Hold on a minute. I'm so sorry. One second. Again. Art Knowledge Institute. Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to share with you now a video about bottled waters and the price that pays to go into that. Oh, again, hold on.
This is a story about a world obsessed with stuff.
Sorry.
It's a story about a system in crisis. We're trashing the planet, we're trashing each other, and we're not even having fun. The good thing is that when we start to understand the system, we start to see lots of places to step in and turn these problems into solutions.
Hold on a minute.
One of the problems with trying to use less stuff is that sometimes we feel like we really need it. What if you live in a city like, say, Cleveland, and you want a glass of water? Are you going to take your chances and get it from the city tap? Or should you reach for a bottle of water that comes from the pristine rainforest of Fiji? Well, Fiji brand water thought the answer to this question was obvious, so they built a whole ad campaign around it. It turned out to be one of the dumbest moves in advertising history. You see, the city of Cleveland didn't like being the butt of Fiji's jokes, so they did some tests, and guess what? These tests showed a glass of Fiji water is lower quality, it loses taste tests against Cleveland Tap, and costs thousands of times more. This story is typical of what happens when you test bottled water against tap water. Is it cleaner? Sometimes, sometimes not. In many ways, bottled water is less regulated than tap. Is it tastier? In taste tests across the country, people consistently choose tap over bottled water. These bottled water companies say they're just meeting consumer demand. But who would demand a less sustainable, less tasty, way more expensive product, especially when you can get for almost free in your kitchen? Bottled water costs about 2,000 times more than tap water. Can you imagine paying 2,000 times the price of anything else? How about a $10,000 sandwich? Yet people in the US buy more than 500 million bottles of water every week. That is enough to circle the globe more than 5 times. How did this come to be? Well, it all goes back to how our materials economy works, and one of its key drivers, which is known as manufactured demand. If companies want to keep growing, they have to keep selling more and more stuff. In the 1970s, giant soft drink companies got worried as they saw their growth projections starting to level off. There's only so much soda a person can drink. Plus, it wouldn't be long before people began realizing soda is not that healthy and turned back to, gasp, drinking tap water. Well, the companies found their next big idea in a silly designer product that most people laughed off as a passing yuppie fad. Water is free, people said back then. What will they sell us next? Air? So how do you get people to buy this fringe product? Simple. You manufacture demand. How do you do that? Well, imagine you're in charge of a bottled water company. Since people aren't lining up to trade their hard-earned money for your unnecessary product, you make them feel scared and insecure if they don't have it. And that's exactly what the bottled water industry did. One of their first marketing tactics was to scare people about tap water with ads like Fiji's Cleveland campaign. When we're done, one top water executive said, Tap water will be relegated to showers and washing dishes. Next, you hide the reality of your product behind images of pure fantasy. Have you ever noticed how bottled water tries to seduce us with pictures of mountain streams and pristine nature? But guess where a third of all bottled water in the US actually comes from? The tap. Pepsi's Aquafina and Coke's Dasani are two of the many brands that are really filtered tap water. But the pristine nature lie goes much deeper. In a recent full-page ad, Nestle said, bottled water is the most environmentally responsible consumer product in the world. What? They are trashing the environment all along the product's life cycle. Exactly how is that environmentally responsible? The problems start here with extraction and production, where oil is used to make water bottles. Each year, making the plastic water bottles used in the US takes enough oil and energy to fuel 1 million cars. All that energy spent to make the bottle, even more to ship it around the planet, and then we drink it in about 2 minutes? That brings us to the big problem at the other end of the life cycle, disposal. What happens to all these bottles when we're done? 80% end up in landfills, where they will sit for thousands of years, or in incinerators, where they are burned, releasing toxic pollution. The rest gets collected for recycling. I was curious about where the plastic bottles that I put in the recycling bins go. I found out that shiploads were being sent to India, so I went there. I will never forget riding over a hill outside Madras, where I came face to face with a mountain of plastic bottles from California. The real recycling would turn these bottles back into bottles. But that wasn't what was happening here. Instead, these bottles were slated to be downcycled, which means turning them into lower quality products that would just be chucked later. The parts that couldn't be downcycled were thrown away there, shipped all the way to India just to be dumped in someone else's backyard. If bottled water companies want to use mountains on their labels, it would be more accurate to show one of these mountains of plastic waste. Scaring us, seducing us, and misleading us. These strategies are all core parts of manufacturing demand. Once they've manufactured all this demand, creating a new multi-billion-dollar market, they defend it by beating out the competition. But in this case, the competition is our basic human right to clean, safe drinking water. Pepsi's vice chairman publicly said, the biggest enemy is tap water. They want us to think it's dirty and bottled water is the best alternative. In many places, public water is polluted, thanks to polluting industries like the plastic bottle industry. And these bottled water guys are all too happy to offer their expensive solutions, which keep us hooked on their products. It is time we took back the tap. That starts with making a personal commitment to not buy or drink bottled water unless the water in your community is truly unhealthy. Yes, it takes a bit of foresight to grab a reusable bottle on the way out, but I think we can handle it. Then take the next step. Join a campaign that's working for real solutions, like demanding investment in clean tap water for all. In the US, tap water is underfunded by $24 billion, partly because people believe drinking water only comes from a bottle. Around the world, 1 billion people don't have access to clean water right now. Yet cities all over are spending millions of dollars to deal with all the plastic bottles we throw out. What if that money was spent improving our water systems, or better yet, preventing pollution to begin with? There are many more things we can do to solve this problem. Lobby your city officials to bring back drinking fountains. Work to ban the purchase of bottled water by your school, your organization, or entire city. This is a huge opportunity for millions of people to wake up and protect our wallets, our health, and the planet. The good news is it's already started. Bottled water sales have begun to drop while business is booming for safe, refillable water bottles. Yay! Restaurants are proudly serving tap, and people are choosing to pocket the hundreds or thousands of dollars they would otherwise be wasting on bottled water. Carrying bottled water is on its way to being as cool as smoking while pregnant. We know better now. The bottled water industry is getting worried because the jig is up. We are not buying into their manufactured demand anymore. We will choose our own demands, thank you very much, and we're demanding clean, safe water for all.
All right. Okay. So I guess, hold on, stop sharing screen for a second and escape. Oh, how do I get out of this? Okay, so now, let me see, show screen. Okay, So we just learned a little bit more about the plastic water industry, right? And okay, 1 second, sorry. So we're talking now about, like, why did I spend some of my time to show you this? Because I don't know if you noticed, but we go to, I think I missed a slide, hang on. I don't know if you noticed, but we go to Masajid a lot, right? And at Masajid, so this is a video I made to kind of show what waste is happening and why, as Muslims, why should we be allowed to even be bringing plastic water bottles and styrofoam and things that are really building up on our planet and really destroying our earth? You know, we have plastic the size of, I think, 2 times the size of Texas that are spiraling in the Pacific Ocean right now. And that plastic is from us. We are actually, they're saying now that babies are born already with plastic inside their blood. And so it is harming our earth, it's harming our society, it's harming, you know, our consciousness. And so I wanted to share now with you a little video that I made. I know it's a lot of videos today. I usually, if you come to any of my classes, we're outdoors, we're hiking, we're doing things. And so I'm hardly on PowerPoints and things. So, but I do want to share this with you because we do need each and every one of you to join in and start helping us to protect this planet, because it's our job as Muslims to do that. So I will share this part with you now, and then we will do another activity. right, so on that note, so I'm going to, let's see here, let me see how I can get back to you guys here for a second. I guess I'll just go through the whole thing and then I will share my webcam again. But basically, in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, behold, thy Lord said to the angels, I will create a vicegerent on earth. So that means, a vicegerent means a steward, okay? And so we are supposed to be the stewards who are protecting the planet. And I know you might be thinking, oh my God, she's so extreme. She's telling us don't bring plastic water bottles. She's telling us don't bring styrofoam. But really, if we think about it, we are supposed to be gentle. We're supposed to walk gently on this earth. And leaving a trail of trash behind us everywhere we go, where it's just going to be sitting around and polluting the earth, is not walking gently. The other thing, let's see here, is so in Surah Al-A'raf, it says, O children of Adam, wear your beautiful apparel every time and place of prayer, eat and drink, but waste not by excess, for God loves not the wasters. So think about it, you know, how long does it take you to get through a plastic water bottle? It takes you maybe 5 seconds, 10 seconds, a minute. Think about, you know, a styrofoam plate. You eat it, you use it, you eat off the plate, and then you toss it. And after that, it sits for 500 to 1,000 years to 500,000 years. It just does not disappear. It turns into these tiny little balls that just contaminate. And so really, we need to be mindful of what we use, and that the solution is time. Wake up an extra 10 minutes early and plan your day. Think, I'm going to bring Tupperware with me. I'm going to clean my Tupperware from yesterday. I'm going to rinse off my coffee container. I'm going to get my water bottle ready, right? And so be mindful of your day. Think it through. Don't just leave the house, because when you just leave and you're in a rush, you end up buying things. You end up buying plastic water bottles. You end up, okay, going and eating out and buying stuff. But if you take time to pack your food, it creates less waste. Alhamdulillah. Okay, next slide. What do I have next here? Okay, so let's finish. And then, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get to the next slide. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. So the world is green and beautiful, and Allah has appointed you his stewards. Oh no, I lost it again. I'm so sorry. This keeps happening. I'm the worst. Okay, one sec. Okay, there it is. Okay, so the world is green and beautiful, and Allah has appointed you his stewards over it. He sees how you acquit yourself. So he's watching, like, what are we doing with this earth that he has entrusted us with? Interestingly enough, all of the prophets, before they became prophets, they were shepherds. They spent time alone outdoors. They learned how to shepherd sheep and goats and be leaders and be gentle and watch the sky, the night sky as it unfolded, be familiar with the moon, get to know the trees and the plants. And then later, once you got to know the earth, you're able to become a leader even so much better, because you're able to read signs in ways that other people can't. And when in Surah, in the very first surah that was revealed to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. So read in the name of your Lord that created you. So Iqra, to read. Read does not just mean a book, it also means the signs. Look at all of Allah's signs. And Allah speaks about this so much in the Quran, that we're supposed to be reading the signs of nature. And we're supposed to be reflecting and thinking. If we don't go outdoors, how are we supposed to do that? So the cool thing about getting outdoors is that there's no separation. Like, for example, if you're in your house, you think, oh, which architect made this and how did they design this and who made this? When you're outdoors, you're already directly, there's no middleman between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're looking straight at a tree and go, wow, Allah, this tree is so beautiful the way you made it. Wow, Allah, wow, subhanallah, look at these flowers. Look at this bird. Look how it's flying. And so you start to really appreciate and say, subhanallah, so much more, so much easier outdoors. Okay, next is how do you act on this? We have a Green Masjid initiative that we started at Art and Wilderness Institute, and alhamdulillah, many masjids have been joining and learning how to go green. If you go on our website, you can find information on, it has everything you need, PowerPoints, how to talk to the board, how to get them to go green, even like a price list for alternatives to styrofoam and things like that. And so, and it's totally free. Check us out so you can go on there and start, become an advocate for your masjid is what we're asking you to do. You can also take this quiz if you want. It's which Earth Hero are you? So you could see, you can take a fun little quiz. You can, some of us have started like native plant gardens to help. The population of bees is dwindling, the population of butterflies is dwindling. So you can plant a native plant garden. Native means that it's from your area. There's educational flyers you can take too, and they're all ready to go. So like, you're like, oh man, I want to educate people. You just go there and you can print everything right off there. And then you can also sign up for free training at awigreenteam@gmail.com. You can email us and we'll get you going. And so we really want to equip you as you met Greta Thunberg. Remember the 13-year-old who got going and she's been making a difference? You don't have, you can, I've met 8-year-olds who have made a difference. I've met 7-year-olds who have made a difference in the earth. And so don't feel like, oh, I'm too little to make a change. No, you're not. You can start right now and you can make a huge, huge difference. So I just wanted to share that with you as well. And last but not least, I wanted to give you an idea a little bit more about kind of what our days look like and why we spend so much time outdoors at Art and Wilderness Institute. And then I'll turn on my webcam and we can take some questions and answers, inshallah. So this is a 1-minute video, and this is sort of what our programs look like, because we can't get you to love the earth unless you spend good memories outdoors. And so this is what we do at Art and Wilderness.
Welcome to the Art and Wilderness Institute, where nature meets knowledge and learning gets a wild makeover. Here at the Art and Wilderness Institute, we're on a mission to rekindle a love and appreciation for the environment and community. Our approach is all about exploration, creativity, connection, and growth. We invite you to join us on a journey that celebrates the natural world. Our mission is to inspire individuals who cultivate a deep appreciation for all of God's creations. Through a range of immersive programs and workshops, we invite you to engage with nature through both artistic expression and practical action, as we draw upon ancient knowledge, sunnah, and contemporary science alike, guiding our future so we can regenerate the Earth's beauty and abundance. So whether you're passionate about nature, curious about wildlife, or simply looking to engage with a welcoming community, we invite you to be a part of our journey. Let us work hand in hand to become the stewards that we are supposed to be.
Okay, so that's enough videos for a while. So I'm going to stop showing my screen, turn on the webcam. Let me see if I can do this right. Okay, escape. Let me see if I can go back to here. Okay, so so now let me see how I can share my screen again. Sorry, share webcam. Stop sharing my webcam, share my webcam. Show webcam. My webcam has disappeared. Any help from the organizers? Okay, let me see. Sorry, 1 second, guys. I apologize for show all webcams. Oh, here it is. Okay, yay, we got it. Okay, so if you can see me, I just wanted to say that getting outdoors is really fun. And most of the time, what I hear a lot from people is they're afraid. Maybe a snake's gonna get them on the trail, maybe a tarantula is gonna bite them, whatever it may be. I wanna let you know that, you know, I've been at this for about 19 years on the trails, and I've seen a lot of harm come to my students. And I'm gonna tell you what that looks like. they show up at class with broken arms and legs sometimes. And I'm like, what happened? And they're like, oh, I fell down the stairs at home, or I got hurt in soccer. Most of the injuries that I see are not from being outdoors on the trails, or rock climbing or doing dangerous things outdoors. They're not from that. They're usually from just sports and things. And so don't be afraid to get out there. Even when you see rattlesnakes, it's great. Like, I love running into rattlesnakes. I run into them all the time. None has even tried to strike at me before. I've probably run into at least 500 rattlesnakes in my life, and not one has tried to bite me or do anything. They're usually pretty scared. They'll usually kind of go off and do their thing. We pick up tarantulas a lot. I've gotten to work a lot in the jungle, and in Alaska, I got to study whales, and alhamdulillah, it's been an amazing I would say amazing microscopic life into the world of Allah's creations. And so with that note, I encourage all of you to really take this seriously. Climate change is real. And it's when all that carbon's being trapped and our ozone layers getting thinned out, it's actually creating a lot of harm on Earth. And we are supposed to be the ones to help and protect. And so with that in mind, I would like to open it up. I think we're supposed to do some questions and things. And so I don't know how this part works, so I'm going to let the presenters take this part on, or how to manage this part. So I'm not really sure how to interact with, excuse me, I'm not the most digital person. So I'm gonna go back to my organizers if they're listening and see how we can do that. So let's see how, okay. Or do I just do like questions to organizers and panelists? Okay, not sure. Okay, pause, chat. Okay. Let's see here.
So I don't see any question. There is only one comment. I love your class.
Oh, okay. So there's no questions. Okay. Would they type it or would they speak
Yes,
it? How would that work?
Yes, they can type it.
They would type it. Okay. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to type it and I will go ahead and answer it, inshallah. Any questions? How would I find it? Let's see here. Okay. Okay. Would I be able to see the questions, or do you guys see them and then you tell me what they are?
You can also see that, but there is no question. I don't see any other question beside that one comment that it's a nice class and she liked it.
Okay. Great. All right. So if there's okay. Good. Okay. So I guess my final comments then, since I don't see any questions, is that take your water bottles everywhere with you. You should see me showing up at the masjid or anywhere I go, really. So excuse me. So like showing up wherever I go, I have this, I have my coffee one, I have my, sometimes I bring my own forks and spoons and things with me, even my own little mug if I want chai. And really, like, it's not a big deal. It takes me a second to rinse them off and throw them back in my bag. But over time, all these invites add up, and before you know it, you're having less and less waste that we've made on this earth. And I'm not perfect by any means. I drive a whole lot. I probably throw a lot of carbon into the air, but really, like, inshallah, we'll be able to lessen our carbon footprint together. And it starts by getting outdoors and understanding nature. And the word conservation comes from the root word conservo, which is Greek for to get to know. So the idea is you're not going to protect anything unless you get to know it first. And so we need to get out there, love our planet, and then protect it by getting to know it, really. And it's also, as Muslims, we're supposed to get out there and get to know everything. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, you know, just please let's try our best, inshallah. And if I said anything that was good, it's from Allah, and anything that is wrong or bad, that's from me. And constantly learning, and that's how it is when you're out in nature. You're just always learning, and it's kind of like learning Islam. The more you learn, the more we realize how much more there is to learn, and it's a lifelong process. So keep at it, and inshallah, we hope to see you on the trail sometime. Come on out and join our hikes.
Sister Sama, there's a question for you.
Okay.
One is, how long have you been teaching?
I have been teaching for about 19 years now, and in different capacities, from, you know, leading hikes to going into schools and doing school programs to working with birds of prey, and working as a professor as well at a college, teach environmental education. So yeah, kind of in different capacities, and now I get to be with the community and do what I love, and be out on the trails as much as possible. Alhamdulillah.
And there's another question, that where does it take place?
Where we are located in Southern California, and inshallah we are hoping to expand in other areas too, but for now we're mainly in Southern California. Any other questions? But we do have like campouts, like family campouts and things, and people have flown out for those. They've come to our big events. We have like mother-daughter retreats, father-son backpacking trips, all kinds of, and people tend to fly out sometimes for those. Anything else? Slight question from my electric cars. Oh, I got another question. People claim that electric cars are better for the environment than gas powered. Is this really true? No, not necessarily. So everyone thinks that, oh, if I have an electric car, I'm going to be better off. It's going to create less carbon, right? Well, here's the thing. It could be if your whole setup at home is all solar powered. So that means if you're plugging your car into something that's all solar powered and that's creating zero carbon, then yeah, I could see how that would work. But if you're plugging your car into your electricity, and that electricity comes all the way from a plant that burns coal and produces a lot of carbon to create that electricity, we're still kind of burning the same amount of carbon to drive that electric car. Plus it took a lot of resources. Those batteries destroy the planet big time with cobalt mining. And so the best thing you can do is just buy used for now, and try to drive less and maximize your trips. If you're going to be buying stuff, just think about where you're going and what you need in that area before you go. But really, yeah, there's this whole thing with like electric cars and all that stuff, and really it's fantastic if you have it set up again where everything's coming from solar panels already. But if not, then it's sort of doing the same thing in a different way. Any other questions? Okay, well, I think that is it then. I will leave it to the organizers. I think they're going to be doing a closing dua. And Jazakallah khair for having me once again. I'm from the Art and Wilderness Institute, and please check us out. And you can follow us on Instagram too, as well, to see what we're up to, inshallah. Let me stop. Webcam, I'll stop.
Jazakallah khairan Sama Wareh for Sister Sama Wareh for leading this program today. I really I find it very interesting that you were teaching us when you were in trails, and I am glad that you have answered my question as well. And it is the topic that we learned today is very interesting, and we also try our best to be conservative and try to avoid using some materials. We'll conclude today's session with Surah Al-Asr and a dua. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. See you next month for our October prime time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.